Okay, it's Sunday. It is April 28th. We are in the Sunday Sima edition from Methods of the Sima. We're in establishing titles, verse 4. Prioritize robustness and stand fast. Spot the enemy and only then advance. Ensure the generals in the masses' mind are as one. Livestock, chariots, weapons, rest, and a good diet will give the army strength. Orders are determined by preparation, while wars are determined by limitations. The general is the body, the troops are the limbs, the squadrons of five and thumbs are the thumbs and fingers, the squadrons of five. So let's go through this. Robustness, prioritize robustness and stand fast. Okay, after spotting the enemy, only then advance. Ensure the generals and the masses' mind are as one. Everyone's got to be kind of in this lockstep agreement as to the move forward. I think it's interesting that they have like a good diet. They knew that a good diet was important back then. Orders are determined by preparation, while wars are determined by limitations. You gotta sneeze. Okay. And the squadrons are five of the thumb. And okay, so the general being the body, the troops are the limbs, right? So like we are the general, we are the body, we are the troops, right? And the limbs. And so like this is just a direct saying of like we are one. Like you have to have your general like in tune with the people, and the mind is as one. And so like whenever you are fighting against, say, doing something like going to the gym, it's like even to this day I struggle because I don't want to go because I'd rather be playing video games or eating food or doing something else, or working piddling around on some other home project, and instead of doing what I need to do to be healthy. And so that's an example of when the body and the mind aren't one, and the general and the masses mind aren't one. And so I think that is an interesting reflection. So let's go over to the Daily Stoic for April 28th. Okay. Once make you a servant. Tantalus, the highest power is, the Estes interrupting, no power if you desire nothing. Seneca, the Estes 440. In the modern world, our interactions with tyranny are a bit more voluntary than they were in ancient times. We put up with our controlling boss, though we could probably get a different job if we wanted. We change how we dress or refrain from saying what we actually think because we want to fit in with some cool group. We put up with cruel critics or customers because we want their approval. In these cases, their power exists because of our wants. You change that and you're free. The late fashion photographer Bill Cunningham occasionally declined to invoice magazines for his work. When a young upstart asked him why that was, Cunningham's response was epic. If you don't take money, they can't tell you what to do, kid. Remember, taking the money, wanting the money, proverbially or literally, makes you a servant to the people who have it. Indifference to it, as Seneca put it, turns the highest power into no power, at least as far as your life is concerned. So, you are a servant to the people who have money. And that, in a sense, we have to reckon with, because that is capitalism. And while you can be free and have a career or a skill set that is very fine tuned and is only you, and you're only able to do it or whatever, then you don't have to be beholden to somebody else who has money. And only then, if it's someone you deem worthy of receiving your skill, your artistry, your presence, whatever it may be, then then you can take the money if you just deem them worthy of serving. And so, not to get too biblical, but just as Jesus, washed the feet of anybody, that's kind of how we have to look at it ourselves. How are we being Jesus, and who are we choosing to serve? And so, keeping in line with the methods of the SEMA and thinking about making sure the mind and the body are one. Who are we choosing to serve, and who are we choosing? What are we choosing to want after? Like, what are we choosing to lust after, in a sense? And is that money, or are we making sure that that's the good and the ethical and the proper and the right way forward?